Welcome back. We're live on 5 with Marina and Lynn. Later, we'll be asking if it's OK to complain about a crying baby. Is it ever OK to complain about crying babies? But first, this. Can Donald Trump end the war in Ukraine? 0207 862 2222 is the number that you need to give us a call. Now, Donald Trump is meeting Vladimir Putin in Alaska later today. This is the first one-on-one meeting the leaders will have had in 6 years as Trump tries to enact his key campaign pledge to end Russia's war in Ukraine. Yesterday morning, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy joined Keir Starmer in Downing Street in London ahead of Trump's meeting. Now, Trump previously promised to end the war before he even entered office.
Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled. And it will take me no longer than 1 day.
Ahead of the meeting, Donald Trump spoke to the media in the White House yesterday.
If I weren't president, in my opinion, he would much rather take over all of Ukraine. But I am president, and he's not going to mess around with me. And I'll know within the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or 5 minutes, like we tend to find out whether or not we're going to have a good meeting or a bad meeting. And if it's a bad meeting, it'll end very quickly. And if it's a good meeting, we're going to end up getting peace in the pretty near future, okay?
Now, Trump has recently helped broker a peace deal between Armenia and Azerbaijan. So do you think he can really achieve peace here? Or does he love the attention? Is he there for himself? We know he's perhaps slightly obsessed with getting himself a Nobel Peace Prize. Marina, what do you think? Do you think he's actually capable of figuring out some sort of deal that would at least stop the fighting?
No, I wish he were, but no. I think what's going to happen today is he is going to potentially, he's already said, his press secretary, Caroline Levitt, said this is a listening exercise for Trump. Yeah. Now, does that not translate to this is Trump going over there, sit down, shut up, be Putin's little poodle like he knows you to be, and do the most easiest negotiation in history for you, which is concede. Concede, reward the aggressor. It sounds like the way that Trump has been talking about this, carving up bits of Ukraine without even Zelenskyy being present, without Zelensky's approval, without Europe's approval. He is basically saying, there'll be concessions, we'll give away a bit of this, a bit of that. It's not yours to give. And when you reward an aggressor, what are you saying to them? Do you really think Putin's going to stop there? No, he's going to be eyeing up the Balkans like it's a breakfast buffet. Like, it is going to be disastrous if we see concessions here because Zelensky's not going to approve it. Europe's not going to approve it. Okay. And I think it paints a picture for more uncertainty.
Not a believer in Trump being able to stop the war. Lynn, how about you?
The thing with the opinion that you hold, Marina, is, OK, let's be realistic, let's be logical. People saying, OK, we're rewarding an aggressor. But what's the alternative? The American people are sick to the back teeth of funding this war. Already they've had $66 billion. They've promised... OK, the US has promised to give Ukraine $195 billion, $128 billion of which goes directly to the Ukrainian government. There are people on the ground in Ukraine. That's like, wait, let me finish. Let me finish. People on the ground in Ukraine are also sick. They don't see the money. 2014, Ukraine was one of the most corrupt countries in the world. We have to be realistic about what peace looks like. And if that means some of the ethnically Russian people, parts in Ukraine are given to Russia to stop the war, that we stop funding, America stops funding, what would you suggest? Because at the moment, yes, I understand that Zelenskyy is not at this meeting, but Trump has said and reassured European leaders that he wouldn't discuss conceding territory unless Zelensky's there. So my thing is this, you're saying all of this, let's not concede. Should we just keep on funding Ukraine for years to come, billions and billions and billions, which is our taxes, the American people's taxes? All right. What's the alternative?
Do you know what Trump could do if he really wanted to end the war and actually secure a peace prize? He could join the, 125 other countries who are agreeing with the International Criminal Court that this is an indicted war criminal and he could arrest him in Alaska. Boom, end of war. Thank you very much.
Why do you think, hang on, why do you think that would end the war? You think if Putin was taken away, just like in Israel, if Netanyahu is taken away, do you not think that it will continue?
I think Netanyahu is the same as Putin, is the same as Trump.
Do you not think
they
it will
are figureheads? They are massive figureheads.
You don't think it will continue?
No, I
don't. So you think if Putin's taken to The Hague, the war will completely stop the next day?
Of course it will. It would put a big old spanner in the works, wouldn't it?
Are not realistic.
Okay, so Len, I want to get your thoughts though. You've given us the reason why there should be a peace deal, but you haven't told me whether you think Trump is going to be able to deliver it.
Well, I'll be honest, I think he was over-ambitious because he said 53 times that he can end this war in 24 hours. That's a load of hogwash. I can accept that. However, if anyone's going to end this war, it's going to be Trump, for the simple fact that they have given so much money to Ukraine and Ukraine cannot survive without America. So, of course...
Wait.
They
stopped.
They're not.
They stopped sending.
They're not.
They stopped. They
pledged
withdrew support.
billion
They lost the leverage. But they stopped it all. They literally stopped the cargo planes.
And then they said they were going to support it again. And if we can see in the Oval Office, whether you like it or not, Trump does not respect Zelenskyy, and many other people in the world do not respect Zelenskyy. So what's that got to do with anything? Because what is the alternative? Who's going to bring peace in the region?
All right.
Not Trump.
I'm going to pause you there because I want to hear what people...
You have no alternative,
Europe,
Marina.
Zelenskyy in Europe.
You have no alternative.
Zelenskyy in Europe.
What's the alternative?
Zelenskyy in Europe.
Right,
Trump is not an ally anymore.
I'm going to pause you two because I want to hear what people are saying at home. Howard's in Lincolnshire waiting to speak to us. Howard, kick us off. What do you think? Do you think Trump can actually get at least a ceasefire?
First of all, morning, Alexis.
Morning.
And also to the panel as well.
Morning.
I think that he's not going to be able to do it because I think if he was going to, he would have done it by now. I think that, wasn't it earlier this year that he did say he was going to end it in one day or even 24 hours might have been his wording. I, along with many other people, I'm sure especially those in Ukraine, are still waiting for those 24 hours. And for someone who is meant to be the most powerful person in the world, I just think he's so caught up in his own delusion and just out and out, I do not think he's the one for the job. Or I certainly don't think he can end it, whether he's the one for the job or not.
OK, but for example, earlier we spoke about Azerbaijan and Armenia. He got a peace deal there. He's had a few other flare-ups that was in Southeast Asia. He sorted them out. And he does that, for a lot of people, they disagree and they don't like that. But he does that by waltzing in saying, if you don't stop the aggression, I'm going to slap tariffs on you. That's his way of doing it. He does deals. He does deals where America is being thought of as America first. There is talk of today's meeting, including exploring opportunities between the US investing in Russia and vice versa. If he says to Putin, look, stop the war, and we can do good deals together, and Russia's going to profit. Russia's economy is on its knees at the moment, or is struggling. Then maybe he can get some sort of ceasefire or something to stop people getting killed in Ukraine. And wouldn't that be a good thing?
Yeah, it would be a good thing. And look, I'm sure these talks are always ongoing, and I'm always seeing on the news what Trump is saying towards Russia, probably threatening Russia with how Trump likes to talk. So I fully appreciate talks and things are always still going on. But I just can't let go of the fact that he was so delusional to think he could end it in 24 hours. And I think that was back in January, maybe Feb. And we're now in August, and it seems to be going on. The war, as far as I'm aware, in between Russia and Ukraine is still going on. Unless I'm about to get the facts
tariffs
wrong,
on. I think he was busy putting tariffs on everyone, Howard. But I get your point. Here's something that I think not a lot of people have perhaps understood or be aware of. It's just going to be the two of them in a room. Just two. Last time they met, they had an interpreter in the room. That interpreter is not going to be there anymore. Just Putin and Trump in a room, no one else. I mean, the rest, it blows my mind, I have to say. Maybe I'm naive on how diplomacy works, but it seems to me that this huge issue that we've been battling, two people in the room, and let's be fair, even for fans of Trump, two people who have a particular relationship to facts and the truth. What are they going to be coming out of the room saying?
Trump's his fanboy. It's deeply
Well,
unprofessional.
whether he is or he isn't is by the by, but are we... And I would feel uncomfortable whether it was Keir Starmer and President Macron in the room. I think diplomacy, you need to have transparency, and that's how you start people doubting everything that comes out. Two people in a room discussing something without anybody there, Lynn. Are we comfortable with that?
I don't disagree with that at all, but we're dealing with two characters that pride themselves, whether real or not, on power. They pride themselves on power, and prior to that, the last time Putin met with anyone was 2021, and we didn't see the Biden administration do much. So my thing is this, whether you hate Trump or not, like you said, he's managed to broker peace deals recently with Azerbaijan. Kim Jong-un, again, not something that we would like
Nothing
to look to.
there.
But yeah, but
Can we also counter that with what he's doing in Iran and what he's doing in the Middle East?
My point is, leaders that pride themselves on power and business, they do have a level of respect or fear for Trump where others don't.
All right, after the break, we're going to be taking more of your calls on whether Trump can end the war in Ukraine. Do you think he's the man for the job? 0207 862 2222 is the number that you need. We'll speak to you after the break. But now, straight back to more of your calls on this. Can Donald Trump end the war in Ukraine? 0207 862 2222 is the number that you need to give us a call. Let's start off with Christine, who's in Hampshire. Christine, welcome to the show. Do you think Trump's the man for the job?
Well, I think he'll have a jolly good try. He's a very proud man. He obviously wants to achieve something to be able to look back on and hopefully get the Nobel Peace Prize. Marina is such a Trump hater that she's not able to see the wood for the trees on this. It doesn't matter who it is, whether it's Trump, anyone else. If anyone can do it and they're giving it all to try and achieve it, they have got to be applauded.
Christine, even you could go and meet Putin and just give away land and make every concession and not do anything to advocate for Zelenskyy. Even you could do that. So why do you think he's
but you don't know what he's going to do.
OK, let's have a look, shall we?
What happens?
Let's have a look. Let's get you on next week.
Well, he has said, and Christine maybe will back me up on this, Trump has said on this call that he had with prime ministers and foreign leaders, saying that he would not negotiate away parts of the Ukraine without Zelenskyy.
So why is he talking in the build-up to this about saying there's going to be swapping of land? What is that?
Because that may have to happen, and some of those regions they have a large population which are ethnically Russian. So
Lynn,
why would he not?
Very happy. Why are you so happy and
I'm not. No.
Okay.
Marina, this is the
giving
thing.
land
You think
away?
I'm happy? No, I'm realistic, which I don't feel you are in many of your points around this topic.
Okay. I want to come back to the callers who've been patiently waiting. Christine, thanks for kicking us off. Gina's in London. Gina, Christine thinks that maybe Trump can do it. He's done it before with Azerbaijan and Armenia. Do you think he's going to be able to do it this time?
Morning. My view is that if Trump says he can end the war, it means that he has something to do with starting the war. Because, we've heard firsthand that Trump said that the Prime Minister of Ukraine is responsible for the war. We've heard them say that Ukraine's got a lot of riches that they want.
Yeah.
So we know that he's not, if he stops the war, if he's a bully, he's a villain. My view is that if he says he can stop the war, things is going on behind closed doors that we probably don't know about.
Yeah.
So he was actually buddying up with the Prime Minister of Russia and blaming Ukraine for the war. So all of a sudden now he's saying, he's manipulative. He's manipulative. I don't trust him. The man, why is he getting so much? Why is he being bigged up so much when we know, excuse me, he's a villain? Excuse me.
Gina, what's your suggestion? What's the... OK.
Sorry, can I just finish? He's had involvement with Epstein. No one's talking about that. The man's a nasty, dirty... He's disgusting.
Well, if you were in... Gina, sorry, if you were in charge, what would you suggest would be the answer to end this war?
Okay. If you look at wars, I don't believe in wars. I think, it's history repeating itself. If you look at what's gone on in Africa, if you look on Iraq, all the other war, I can't even imagine myself being in that position because I'm one hand. Look what's going on in Palestine at the moment.
Okay. We're veering off a little bit, Gina. But thank you. I appreciate your call, Gina. We're just veering off a little bit away from Trump. Let's hear from William in Clackmannanshire. William, do you think he's the man for the job?
I think he can eventually succeed. Fundamentally, real peace comes from lifting the conversation higher, not dragging it in deeper into punishment and retribution. And if we want a different world, we have to plant different seeds. And Donald Trump is the gardener of peace. He is sowing seeds of peace by reaching out to Putin, getting together, and not just to talk, but to listen.
Okay, all right. What if Donald Trump starts saying that, look, I mean, a possibility coming out of this meeting today is, look, Putin wants half of the Donbass. He wants to keep hold of Crimea. Ukraine, take it or leave it. Is that what you mean about sowing a seed of peace? Because I don't think the Ukrainians will see it that way.
Well, I think we have to remember that there's always three sides to every story. There's my side, there's your side, then there's what actually happened. Sure. And there's these stories that Russia invaded Ukraine and which all different angles. We need to focus on peace. We need to focus on ending the war. Like the previous caller said, she doesn't believe in war. I don't believe in war. War benefits the few at the expense of the many. It is about business. It's the business of fear and profit, and it must be ended. Whatever people need to be happy, they need to work it out. And the way they have all behaved, these leaders, all of them, is absolutely despicable, including the grifter goblin in Ukraine, Zelenskyy, who needs to be removed. We need a different leader there. We need a different leader in America, a different leader in Russia, but this is what we have, and they're focused on solutions. And the people that are throwing water in this, absolutely disgraceful to just say that this is not a good thing. It's a positive thing. Okay. Well done to Donald Trump meeting with Putin, and best of luck.
All right, William, you're clear on your thoughts there. Let's speak to Walter, who's in Lincolnshire. Walter, do you think Donald Trump is sowing the seeds of peace across the world?
No, I think Putin's playing him like a puppet. He was supposed to have sanctions put on him.
That's true.
Was it last Friday?
Yeah.
And now he's saying, we'll have talks. And all the time he's moving further and further into Russia, into Ukraine. And he doesn't believe that Ukraine is a country. He believes it's part of his land. So he's just playing. And we're not putting the proper sanctions on because countries like India are buying oil off them, and we're not putting sanctions on those countries.
He has put sanctions on India because they've been buying oil from Russia. Lynn, you don't think sanctions work?
Well, there were sanctions on Russia, and in 2023 and 2024, there was a surge in the economy of Russia. So it's not done a massive dent in the economy that everyone was hoping for. So, Walter, I'm interested to hear, like I asked the previous caller and like I asked Marina, OK, what would your suggestion be? Yes, OK, we shouldn't concede and give land, but right now we're at an impasse. Putin is powerful whether we like that or not.
OK, let Walter come back. Walter, what would you do?
Look, it's no good some people putting sanctions on. India are buying their oil. They're funding the war. Yeah? And we're trading with them. Everybody's got to go in on the sanctions.
But that's where all of the natural resources are. So if we, as the West, keep on sanctioning everyone else, where will we get our raw materials from?
We've got to do it out. It's war years. We've got to put a stop to people that are dictating.
OK, all right. Well, look, Walter, thank you. A quick one from Jack, who's waiting to speak to us from Cheshire. Jack, very briefly, do you think Trump can actually achieve at least a ceasefire today?
Shall we look at the actual personality of Donald Trump?
Yeah.
And it's quite simply this. He's the most narcissistic, egotistical, irritating, nauseating patronising.
OK, but can he get a peace deal?
And he's right up there with Joseph Stalin and Adolf Hitler as one of the world's dictators. And he's not doing this for nothing. He only wants mineral rights for himself.
OK. But do you think, even though maybe he's there to get mineral rights in Russia and get business going in Russia, we know that's part of what they're going to be discussing, but can he get that peace deal, though?
I don't think he can.
OK.
I think if you want to send in a real diplomat, send in Prince Andrew.
Oh, for goodness sake.
OK.
Well, they have a lot in common.
I'm not quite sure how to take that one, Jack, but thank you,
No one has
Jack,
any alternative.
thank you for all your calls on that. Can you imagine if the plane lands and Prince Andrew walks out to shake hands with Vladimir Putin? Look, later we're going to be asking if it's ever OK to complain about crying babies.